all my opponents say, I'm gonna stop his wrestling. He's not gonna take me down. But Australia don't have wrestling. That's why I don't care.
Устал, отдохни. 16 ноября. 16 ноября, да.
Islam Makhachev has sent a chilling message to Jack Della Maddalena ahead of their UFC 322 showdown. And trust me, you're going to want to hear what the former lightweight king had to say. But that's not all. We've got exclusive details on Della Maddalena's massive new contract deal, brutal responses from Makhachev's camp to doubters, and expert predictions that are turning this November 15th clash at Madison Square Garden into the most controversial title fight of the year. Stick around, because this story has more twists than a championship bout itself.
I'm announcing our return to New York City as UFC 322 takes place on Saturday, November 15th. The main event, UFC welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena defends his belt for the first time when he takes on former UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. Makhachev was #1 ranked pound-for-pound fighter in the world in 23, 24, and 25. Cleaned out that division, and he has decided to take his 15-fight win streak and move up to attempt to become one of a few fighters in UFC history to win belts in 2 different divisions. This is literally the definition of a super fight.
Let's start with the moment that has the entire MMA community talking. During a recent training session at Khabib Nurmagomedov's legendary gym in Dagestan, cameras captured an exchange that perfectly encapsulates the mindset of Islam Makhachev. When asked by teammate Umar Nurmagomedov if he was tired and needed to take a break from his grueling training schedule, Makhachev's response was bone-chilling in its simplicity. November 16th, I will rest.
Устал, отдохни. 16 ноября. 16 ноября, да.
Think about that for a moment. The fight takes place on November 15th at Madison Square Garden. Makhachev is essentially saying he won't rest until after he's finished his business with Della Maddalena. This is the same relentless mentality that made him the most dominant lightweight champion in UFC history, with the record for most title defenses in that division. What makes this even more ominous is the context. Members of Khabib's gym are notorious for their suffocating training regimens, the kind of preparation that turns fighters into cardio machines who never seem to tire over 5 grueling rounds. If Makhachev is pushing himself to these limits for a welterweight who many consider his toughest challenge yet, Della Maddalena better be ready for war.
Okay. Things on me like brand names. Cash just lined up brand new paintings. A nice style on my team. Everyone I know has called me.
But Jack Della Maddalena isn't backing down. In fact, he's doubling down in a major way. Fox Sports Australia has exclusively revealed that the 28-year-old Australian champion has just signed a lucrative 6-fight contract extension, making him one of the first UFC champions to ink a deal under the company's massive $7.7 billion broadcasting agreement. Here's where it gets really interesting. The man behind this mega deal is Tim Simpson, the same agent who orchestrated Conor McGregor's legendary $45 million boxing crossover against Floyd Mayweather. Simpson, a Perth native like Della Maddalena, has built an incredible stable of champions through his boutique agency Chosen Advisory, representing stars like Israel Adesanya, Max Holloway, Leon Edwards, and Jiri Prochazka. Tim is the man, a genius, Della Maddalena told Fox Sports. Initially, you get a figure in your head that you hope might be met. Then you send Tim to the negotiating table. And we get it. So I'm super happy.
Have you spoken to your boyfriend since his loss? I don't have a boyfriend. Oh, Drickus. Okay. He's not my boyfriend. Okay. And no, I haven't. I don't message him after that. Like, dude, keep your chin up high, man. I did speak to Craig Jones, chat, and let me break some news real quick. South Africa, Craig Jones. It's happening, boys. Drickus is going to win the rematch against Chimaev.
This deal reportedly catapults Della Maddalena into the ranks of Australia's highest-paid combat sports athletes, joining the likes of Alexander Volkanovski, Jai Opataya, and the Chu brothers. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Securing this massive payday right before the biggest fight of his career shows the kind of confidence and business acumen that separates champions from contenders. Now, not everyone is convinced that Makhachev will steamroll through the welterweight division. Some big names in the UFC have been making bold predictions that Islam has everything to lose. And let me tell you, Team Makhachev is not having it. UFC legend Robert Whittaker dropped a bombshell on his Arcade podcast, stating, "Jack has nothing to lose, and I think Islam's got everything to lose." He's the hottest prospect right now in MMA. Everyone expects Islam to just run through him.
I'm going to go Jack. Obviously, I'm going Jack.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
We always back the
Obviously, I'm going
Aussie.
Jack. When I said at that time, just then, that was objective. Okay? That was objective. I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. People sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedown.
Whittaker went even further, predicting an upset. I'm going to go Jack. I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns. And I think in a striking fight straight up, Jack is better.
I'm going to go Jack. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hand. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back. Jack has nothing to lose. And I think Islam's got everything to lose. He's the hottest prospect right now in MMA.
But here's where Team Makhachev's response gets brutal. Sources close to the Dagestani's camp have been firing back at these predictions with the kind of cold confidence that made Khabib's team legendary. They're pointing to Makhachev's 15-fight win streak, his devastating finishes of elite opponents like Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira, and the fact that he's moving up in weight as the aggressor, not the defender. The message from Team Makhachev is clear. Doubt us at your own peril. Let's break down what makes this fight so compelling from a technical standpoint. Steve Erteg, who came up through the Australian scene with Della Maddalena, provided fascinating insight into what the champion needs to do to retain his title. If you look at the Dustin Poirier fight, Dustin was able to stop some of his takedowns and win some scrambles, Erteg explained. I think not only will Jack be able to do that, but when he lands punches, it's going to be way more devastating.
Islam was going to fight Jack Della in November at Madison Square Garden. It's officially happening. And if you've seen videos and pictures of Islam lately, he's bigger. And he's going to have to be bigger if he wants to get through the monster that is Jack Della Maddalena. I can listen to the words that Khabib speaks publicly. You can listen to the words that Islam speaks publicly and acknowledge that those guys are well aware of how good Jack Della Maddalena is. He's so tough. He's so big, he's so physical, and now he's got takedown defense to match. I believe that if you would have put this fight together a few years ago, people would have been like, oh, Islam's going to kill Jack Della Maddalena. But now, after watching him fight Bilal Muhammad, it's a much more even fight. But clearly that fight is massive. The fight is happening. Madison Square Garden. Dana White announced that fight is going down right now.
This is crucial analysis because Poirier's performance against Makhachev last year was considered one of the best examples of how to neutralize the Dagestani's grappling attack. Della Maddalena showed similar defensive grappling when he defeated Bilal Muhammad for the title, completely shutting down one of the division's best wrestlers and earning a striking victory. But here's the wild card. Khabib Nurmagomedov himself has called Della Maddalena the toughest opponent of Makhachev's career. Not Charles Oliveira, not even potential future opponent Ilia Topuria. Khabib explained, Maddalena is twice the size of Ilia. Taller, bigger, stronger legs, bigger frame. His boxing is just as good and in grappling. He scrambles really well.
Считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в ислама-карьере. Это мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов...
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Вот. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Ну, для меня, если я, например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Маддалены, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Маддалена.
Between these two fighters, they have just one loss in the UFC combined. This isn't just a title fight. It's a collision between two fighters operating at the absolute peak of their powers. The stakes for UFC 322 couldn't be higher. This November 15th showdown at Madison Square Garden represents more than just a title fight. It's a potential changing of the guard in the UFC's pound-for-pound rankings. For Makhachev, this is about proving he can dominate a second weight class and cement his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time. He's vacated his lightweight title, a division he ruled with an iron fist, to chase this dream. For Della Maddalena, this is about proving that his rise isn't a fluke and that Australia has produced another legitimate superstar. His defiant response says it all.
Я не вижу шанса у Топури.
То есть ты считаешь, что
Я
Арман
ему
нападает, да?
тоже не даю. Арман слишком дистанционно дерется. С ударниками. Держит дистанцию хорошо. Ногами лучше работает. И сейчас уже Арман слишком хорошо. У него есть материал, который он может посмотреть и хорошо изучить. Если 3 боя назад, если он с ним дрался, может, он не так опасался.
Выиграет он при этом за счет борьбы, правильно?
За счет ММА стиля.
Но,
это не вольная борьба.
Но будет проходить, да?
Арман может повалить, у него хорошие локти в партере. Очень хорошие локти. Они такие у него, хорошо заходят. Может бороться, разбаривать, спину забирать.
А вот в эту опасную дистанцию с Топурией просто не зайдет.
Не зайдет, слишком уже есть бои, он уже может посмотреть, изучить. Если в начале где-то они как-то дрались бы, может быть, у него был бы шанс. Я, например, 80-20, я вижу победителем.
In your opinion, what is the most proper fight at the moment right now in lightweight division? Is it between Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan? Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, if you look at historically, if you look at somebody who spots the fight, the championship fight, and makes the weight, he usually gets the title fight. Never happened that they didn't get a title fight. He proved it. I mean, everybody said that he had problem cutting weight, but he proved that he can do it, that he can go all the way down to the championship weight. So he proved the fact that he deserves the shot, and I think it's the only proper fight right now is for him to get the shot. Who do you think has more chances of winning that fight? If Arman comes out prepared and with the right mindset, then he's got more chances to win.
Islam Makhachev and Khabib Nurmagomedov send a clear warning message to Ilia Topuria about Arman Tsarukyan. The MMA world is buzzing after UFC legend Khabib Nurmagomedov delivered one of the most brutal predictions we've heard in years, giving Ilia Topuria just a 20% chance of surviving against Arman Tsarukyan. But that's not all. The Dagestani camp is making it crystal clear that they believe Topuria's reign is built on fighting strikers, and his first real test against a wrestler will expose everything.
Khabib was talking about the best lightweight in the world. He said that is hands down Arman Tsarukyan. He doesn't think Ilia Topuria has a chance against Arman Tsarukyan. I believe it's the hardest matchup for Ilia. I just think it's hard to say Arman is the best lightweight in the world when Ilia is the champion. I also think that he has the best feelings for Ilia and the way Ilia operates. A brash forward guy like that reminds you of the person that you had one of the most nasty interactions with.
Let's start with the bombshell that has the entire MMA community talking. Khabib Nurmagomedov didn't just back Arman Tsarukyan. He completely dismantled Ilia Topuria's chances with surgical precision. I don't see a chance for Topuria, Khabib declared without hesitation, but he didn't stop there. The former lightweight champion broke down exactly why he believes the Georgian-Spanish star is vulnerable. Arman fights with strikers from a distance too much. He keeps his distance well, works better with his legs, and now Arman is too good.
Арман слишком дистанционно дерется с ударниками. Держит дистанцию хорошо, ногами лучше работает. И сейчас уже Арман слишком хорошо. У него есть материал, который он может посмотреть и хорошо изучить. Если 3 боя назад, если он с ним дрался, может, он не так опасался. Но сейчас уже видно то, чего можно опасаться от Топурии. Я считаю, что в данный момент лучший боец в легком весе это Топурия.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Khabib revealed that Tsarukyan now has extensive footage to study Topuria's patterns, something that gives him a massive advantage. He already has material he can watch and study well. If 3 fights ago he fought with him, maybe he wouldn't, but now you can already see what to fear from Topuria. The numbers Khabib gave are absolutely staggering. I'd say it's 80-20 in Arman's favor.
Очень хороший лоб. Может бороться, разбаривать, спину забирать.
А вот в
Может,
эту
может
опасную
слишком-
дистанцию с Топурией просто не зайдет. То, что
Не зайдет слишком, уже есть бои, он уже может посмотреть, изучить. Я например, 80-20, я вижу победителем Армана. Я считаю, что его борьба, его прессинг, его говорить, это тоже надо учитывать. Он выше него почти на 10 сантиметров, если не ошибаюсь. И он больше него весом.
But perhaps the most damaging part of Khabib's assessment was his breakdown of Topuria's competition level. Wrestling has always ruled, especially in such fights. We all know the level of wrestling that Holloway and Charles Oliveira had. It's practically non-existent. He's only fought strikers.
Ну и, конечно, борьба, она всегда рулила. Особенно, когда такие бои бывают. Ну, все мы знаем, какая борьба у Холлоуэя и какая борьба у последнего Чарльза Оливера. У них ее практически нет. Они ударники. Они пошли на рожон и хапнули свое. А человек, который взял ногу, поборолся, взял корпус, поборолся.
Ну да, то, что
с такими он не дрался, он дрался со всеми ударниками.
Khabib's confidence isn't just based on bias, it's based on the Dagestani blueprint that has dominated MMA for over a decade. His detailed breakdown of how Tsarukyan would approach the fight reads like a masterclass in mixed martial arts strategy. Arman can take him down, Khabib explained methodically. He has good elbows on the ground. Very good elbows. He can wrestle armbar, take the back, but he simply won't fight at this dangerous distance with Topuria. This is the key insight that many fans are missing. Tsarukyan won't engage in Topuria's wheelhouse, the pocket where his devastating knockout power lives. Instead, he'll use the blueprint that Khabib perfected and Islam Makhachev has continued. Control the distance, secure takedowns, and dominate on the ground. Khabib also emphasized the physical advantages. He's taller by almost 10 centimeters if I'm not mistaken. He's heavier, and on fight night, he'll be the bigger man. The former champion's assessment reveals something crucial about the lightweight division. I think right now, the best lightweight is Tsarukyan. This isn't just praise for his student. It's a direct challenge to Topuria's legitimacy as champion.
Он выше него почти на 10 сантиметров, если не ошибаюсь. И он больше него весом. И в день боя он будет больше него.
Islam Makhachev's influence is written all over this analysis. As Khabib's main training partner and someone who has extensive experience with Tsarukyan, Islam's strategic mind is clearly part of this assessment. The Dagestani camp isn't just backing their fighter, they're revealing their game plan. While the Dagestani legends make their case in interviews, Arman Tsarukyan has taken his frustration to social media, and his message is impossible to ignore. I am the #1 contender, and the UFC knows what needs to happen next. Tsarukyan declared on Twitter, I've been patient, I've earned my spot, and I won't be overlooked any longer.
I just want to say, Ile, you know who is the #1 contender, and you know exactly who you're going to fight. It's me. Don't try to play with anybody, and so I'll see you soon.
The Armenian fighter's social media campaign isn't just about getting attention, it's about reminding everyone of the facts. Tsarukyan is on a 4-fight winning streak in the UFC and holds the official #1 contender ranking. His most recent victory was a title eliminator against Charles Oliveira, the same fighter Topuria knocked out to win the belt. The message is clear. Tsarukyan isn't going away quietly. Now here's where things get really controversial. While the MMA world focuses on Khabib's prediction and Arman's campaign, UFC legend Chael Sonnen has thrown a massive wrench into the conversation with a business perspective that's dividing fans.
Ilia Topuria is fighting Arman Tsarukyan. And yes, I am telling you that. To call Ilia a coward, I mean, this is such strong language. I do feel like people have forgot what happened in the last 3 months. Ilia Topuria did not move up to 155 to fight for a vacant title. He did not move up to 155 to fight Charles Oliveira for a championship. Ilia Topuria moved to 155 coming straight after Islam Makhachev. So to suggest that he would not fight a guy who lost to Islam Makhachev, this is silly. He's not denying the fight. He has his approach. He has a way that he's found to build fights. Ilia is playing you. He's going to fight Tsarukyan next. Do you need more detail? Do I need to get into T-Mobile in December? Let's call it here.
Sonnen claims that Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett would be a bigger fight than the highly anticipated Topuria versus Islam Makhachev super fight. Islam versus Ilia is not this massive fight that people are trying to make believe it is, Sonnen declared. Those guys are a little bit too close to the trees to see the forest. His reasoning is purely financial. Ilia Topuria versus Paddy the Baddy does a bigger gate than Ilia Topuria versus Islam right now. You put a belt around Islam, and maybe we're having a different conversation. Sonen's argument has merit from a business standpoint. The face-off between Topuria and Pimblett after UFC 317 was electric. The genuine animosity, Pimblett's massive UK fan base, and the trash-talking ability of both fighters could create a perfect storm for PPV sales.